Picture yourself on test day. You sit down feeling prepared. You're calm because you know exactly what's coming. You've practiced with the right strategies and know what the IELTS examiners want to see. When your results arrive, you see the band scores you worked for. Your dream of going abroad feels closer than ever. That confidence doesn't come from random practice. It comes from understanding what each IELTS task tests and using strategies that actually improve your performance. This is the approach candidates use inside our IELTS courses. When they focus on strategic preparation rather than simply studying harder, their scores can transform dramatically. In this video, I'll walk you through all 4 IELTS academic sections. You'll learn what the examiners evaluate and discover the strategies that separate Band 6 candidates from Band 9 candidates. By the end, you'll know how to prepare effectively for IELTS in 2026. Let's start with the IELTS speaking test. It has 3 parts that test different communication skills. In part 1, you need to answer questions about yourself and familiar topics like your home, family, work, or interests. Part 2 is called the long turn. You receive a task card with a topic. You have 1 minute to prepare, and then you must speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Finally, in part 3, the examiner asks you questions about the topic from part 2, and you need to answer them. Now, here are essential strategies that can help you achieve Band 7 or higher in IELTS speaking. First, give complete answers in part 1. Don't just say yes or no. The examiner cannot assess your English if you give one-word answers. Instead, develop your responses with reasons and examples. For instance, the examiner might ask, "Do you enjoy reading?" Don't simply say yes. Instead, you could say this: "Yes, I really enjoy reading, especially historical novels. They help me relax after work, and I learn about different time periods." This shows the examiner your vocabulary range and grammatical structures. Second, use the preparation time wisely in part 2. Read all the prompts on the task card carefully. Make brief notes about what you'll say for each point. Think about how you'll begin, what examples you'll include, and how you'll conclude. Candidates who plan their responses sound more organized and coherent, which improves your fluency and coherence score significantly. Third, demonstrate vocabulary range by using synonyms and paraphrasing. Don't repeat the same words from the task card or use basic vocabulary repeatedly. For example, if the topic is about a memorable event, don't say memorable 5 times. Instead, use alternatives like unforgettable, significant, or noteworthy. The IELTS speaking examiner specifically evaluates your lexical resource. This means that varied vocabulary is essential for Band 7 and higher. Next, use complex sentence structures throughout all 3 parts. Mix simple sentences with compound and complex ones. Complex sentences include subordinate clauses, relative clauses, or conditional structures. For example, don't say, "I like traveling. Traveling is interesting. I travel every year." Instead, say, "I really enjoy traveling because it allows me to experience different cultures, which is why I try to visit at least 1 new country every year." This variety demonstrates your grammatical range and creates natural fluent speech. Further, extend your answers naturally in part 3. These questions require deeper thinking and longer responses than part 1. The IELTS speaking examiner expects you to analyze, compare, and give detailed opinions. Don't give short answers here. Develop your ideas with explanations, examples, and different perspectives. Additionally, use transitions to connect your ideas smoothly. Use phrases like "to begin with," "additionally," and "in conclusion." These phrases help create coherent responses where one idea flows naturally into the next. They are particularly important in parts 2 and 3, where you need to speak at length. Also, maintain natural pronunciation and fluency. Don't rush through your response trying to say as much as possible. It's better to deliver fewer ideas clearly than to speak so quickly that your words become unclear. Now, here's a crucial strategy for all speaking parts. Use templates strategically. Templates include advanced vocabulary, grammar, and structures that can help you give high-scoring answers. For example, in part 2, you might begin with this sentence starter. I'd like to tell you about something that holds particular significance for me. Then you set the context, describe what happened, explain the impact, and reflect on what you learned. For part 3, when expressing your opinion, you can use sentence starters like these. From my perspective, the way I see it is, these help you sound more fluent. Templates ensure you include advanced vocabulary and grammar naturally, which shows the IELTS examiners that your English is at a high level. The best thing is that you don't have to think about how to start your answer. You can simply begin speaking. You say the sentence starter and then finish the sentence with your ideas. This makes the test less stressful and allows you to focus on developing your answer. If you'd like to speak with the same confidence as high-scoring candidates, check out our IELTS packages. You'll find all the templates and strategies you need to speak fluently and naturally. The link is just below this video. Now let's examine IELTS reading. This section has 3 passages of increasing difficulty. The passages come from books, journals, magazines, and newspapers on topics of general interest. Question types include matching headings, sentence completion, and multiple choice. Here are key strategies to achieve Band 7 or higher in IELTS reading. First, read the questions before reading the passage. This is absolutely crucial for your success. When you know what information the questions ask for, you can read strategically instead of trying to remember everything. This approach saves time because it helps you find the answers fast. Second, use the scanning technique to locate specific information quickly. Once you've read a question, scan the passage looking for keywords from the question. Your eyes should move rapidly across the text, searching for names, numbers, dates, or key concepts. When you find the relevant section, slow down and read carefully to determine the answer. Don't waste time reading every word. Focus on finding the information you need. Third, understand question types and their specific requirements. Many IELTS candidates struggle with true or false or not given questions. True means the statement matches the information in the passage. False means the statement contradicts the passage, and not given means there's no information about it. Next, pay attention to paraphrasing and synonyms. The questions rarely use the exact same words as the passage. For example, if a question asks about advantages, the passage might say benefits or positive aspects. Recognizing these synonyms is essential for finding answers quickly. Additionally, manage your time carefully across all 3 passages. You have only 60 minutes for 40 questions, which gives you about 20 minutes per passage. Don't spend too long on difficult questions in the first passage. If you're stuck, make an educated guess and move on. It's better to attempt all questions than to leave some blank because you ran out of time. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments. Click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. Next, let's discuss IELTS writing. This section has 2 tasks. Task 1 requires you to describe visual information in your own words. You might see a graph, table, chart, diagram, or map. You need to write at least 150 words in about 20 minutes. The examiners assess whether you can identify and describe key features, make comparisons, and present an overview of the data. Here are crucial strategies for task 1. First, identify the type of visual information immediately. Is it a line graph showing trends over time? Or is it a bar chart comparing different categories? Each type requires a slightly different analysis. Understanding what you're describing helps you structure your response effectively. Second, write a clear overview in your introduction. The overview identifies the main trends or most significant features without giving specific data. For example, if you need to describe a graph that shows population changes, your overview might state, overall, the population increased significantly between 1990 and 2020, with the most dramatic growth occurring after 2010. This overview is essential for achieving Band 7 or higher. Third, select and describe key features systematically in your body paragraphs. Don't try to describe every single detail. Focus on the most important trends, highest and lowest points, or significant changes. Use specific data to support your descriptions. For instance, the percentage of urban residents rose from 45% in 1990 to 78% in 2020, representing a substantial increase of 33 percentage points. Additionally, use varied vocabulary to describe trends and data. Don't repeat increased throughout your response. Use synonyms like rose, climbed, or grew. Similarly, use different words for decreased, such as declined, fell, or dropped. This vocabulary range significantly impacts your lexical resource score. Now, let's look at task 2. Here, you respond to a point of view, argument, or problem. For example, you might be asked to give your opinion or to discuss advantages and disadvantages. The most important strategy for task 2 is reading the question extremely carefully. Understand exactly what you're being asked to do. If the question says, discuss both views and give your opinion, you must discuss both sides and state your opinion. If you only discuss one view or don't give your opinion, you haven't completed the task. As a result, your band score will go down. Second, plan your essay before you start writing. A well-planned essay flows logically and addresses all parts of the question. Your planning should identify your thesis statement, your main arguments, and the examples you'll use to support them. Third, write a clear introduction that paraphrases the question and states your position. Don't copy the question word for word. This shows you cannot paraphrase, which is crucial for demonstrating vocabulary range. Next, develop your body paragraphs with clear topic sentences, supporting explanations, and specific examples. Each paragraph should focus on one main idea. Start with a topic sentence that states the paragraph's main point, then explain it, and finally provide a concrete example or evidence. Further, use linking words throughout your essay. For instance, words like furthermore, nevertheless, and consequently. These words connect your ideas and show the relationships between them. This ensures your answer has a good flow. Now, here's a crucial strategy. Use templates for both writing tasks. Successful candidates use templates with advanced sentence starters and clear frameworks that help them write naturally and fluently. For task 1, you can begin your overview with sentence starters like these. Overall, it is evident that, in general, the data reveals that. When describing trends, you might write this. The period witnessed a dramatic increase in. For task 2, you use this sentence starter. It is considered by some that, while there are others who think that. When presenting arguments, use structures like this. Proponents of this view may argue that. These templates help you demonstrate advanced language. If you'd like to use the same writing templates that help IELTS candidates write naturally and fluently, click the link below to check out our IELTS packages. Finally, let's look at IELTS listening. This section has 4 parts and 40 questions in total. You hear the recordings only once. Part 1 is usually a conversation about everyday situations, such as booking accommodation. Part 2 features one person speaking on a general topic. Part 3 is a conversation in an educational context, like university students discussing an assignment. And Part 4 is a lecture on an academic subject. Here are essential strategies for achieving Band 7 or higher in IELTS listening. First, use the time before each recording starts to read the questions carefully. You're given time to preview the questions, so use it wisely. Read all the questions for that section and predict what kind of information you need to listen for. Is it a name, a number, or a description? This preparation helps you listen more effectively when the recording begins because you know what you need to listen for. Second, listen for signpost words that indicate important information is coming. Speakers often use phrases like these. The most important point is, one key factor is, the main reason is. These phrases signal significant information. When you hear these phrases, pay extra attention because the answer is likely coming next. Third, be aware of distractors in the recording. The speakers might mention several options, but only one is correct. The test includes these distractors deliberately to assess your listening skills. For example, you might hear this. Initially, we thought about Tuesday, but actually Wednesday works better, so let's meet on Wednesday. If the question asks what day they'll meet, the answer is Wednesday, not Tuesday. Now, here comes an important tip. Check your spelling and grammar carefully when writing answers. If the question says, write no more than 2 words, and you write 3 words, the answer is wrong. Similarly, spelling must be accurate. If you write accommodation instead of accommodation, the answer is wrong. Pay attention to plural forms too. If the recording says books, but you write book, the answer is incorrect. Finally, stay focused and maintain concentration throughout all 4 parts. The recordings are played only once. If you don't pay attention, you might miss crucial information. High-scoring candidates stay focused and concentrate on the recording throughout the entire listening test. These are essential strategies for the IELTS 2026. If you're serious about achieving the band score you need, check out our IELTS packages using the link below. We provide high-scoring templates, strategies, and everything you need to feel confident and prepared on test day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video!